Afternoon, everyone. Thought about doing this particular video a bunch of different ways, but I think I'm just gonna basically approach it the same as I always do. Kind of just gonna get into it, but yeah, it's break time, Sherv. First record that came in is another 7-inch from the X. Love this punk band from the Netherlands, and this time we've got on the A side, How Thick You Think, and on the B side, That's Not a Virus. And a couple of song titles that kind of fit in with today's world. You can call this maybe a tribute album to Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. 2014, and yeah, a couple killer cuts. I love the guitars from this band. Arnold DeBar, Terry Hassels, and Andy Moore on guitars, and then you have Katharina Bornfeld on drums, who one of the best female drummers in the world, hands down. Been doing it for many, many years. And this lineup really hasn't changed much over the years either. So just such a solid band. When you play for so many years together, since like probably since like 79, 80, and they're still going. A lot of cohesion, just phenomenal stuff. And a really cool, they always have cool labels. I'll show you the labels on this. You got, there's your very cool labels. X Records, their own label. So anything I come across with them, as you know, and I've said it before, I'm going to pick it up. Next record, I got to thank a couple of people. Steve Carlson for one, and Dave Belson, Record Bug, for another. Steve ended up going to Boston to visit family, and I advised him that he should go check out Wantless Records, because Belson and a partner opened up a record shop in an antique mall in the Boston area. And if you don't know Dave Belson, he's from back in the day in the VC channel Record Bug, phenomenal channel, but he's moved on into dealing records quite a bit, and I've got a few great records over the years now from him. And Carlson's been on this role of filming inside record stores and filming the walls, and it usually ends up with me making phone calls out to get said records off walls. And this was on the wall, so I got in touch with Belson, and he sent me a copy, as he has a few. The New Life Trio, Visions of the Third Eye, and this is the reissue from 2021 on Early Future Records. This originally came out in '79 on Mestevic Sound Inc. And is ridiculously rare to find an original, and it will set you back well over 4 figures. And so yeah, this is a nice reissue, very well done, and it comes in this interesting sleeve, like this weird textured cloth sleeve. Sounds fantastic. Really anti-static sleeve. Not a cheap reissue, but essential. And with this trio, you've got Steve Reed on drums, who is one of my favorite drummers. So much groove from him all the time. This comes with a download and a nice booklet with a lot of words in it describing the band, the record. So you got David Wortman on bass and Brandon Ross on guitar. So at times you get some jazz rock out of this. At times you get some avant-garde and some free jazz. A little bit of everything. Fantastic record. Happy this got reissued. Again, because originals are ridiculous to try to find and track down. And so thank you again, Steve, and Mr. Belson for the hookup on that. So I think next in this video I'm going to go to today's activity, which was I went through and had to pull out a purge stack. We all have to go through that every now and again. For me, is to make a little bit of room for some incoming, and it's just some stuff that I listened to a couple times. I was like, okay, this I can stand apart with. And I ended up taking it up to Noble Records and going to see Dylan. And of course, when you walk in, what I love about going to see Dylan, he brings his case with him, with the stuff he likes to play in the shop and some of his rare finds from recently. So I always get to see what he's been up to as far as his own personal collection's concerned, which is a lot of fun. Man, he has a good knack of finding great records. That's for sure. And so I got some good trade for what I brought in. I brought a pretty healthy stack and left with just a couple that I found in the shop. And so the first is Augustus Pablo, King David's Melody, Past and Present Classical Instrumentals. This is from '83 on Alligator Records, and I absolutely love this lineup. Augustus Pablo plays a bunch of different instruments on this: melodica, piano, organ, xylophone, and string synthesizer. You got Robbie Shakespeare on bass, one of the bassists, there's many, and then there's a bunch of different drummers that appear on this, but Horsemouth Wallace on the drums, he's a killer. And then Earl China Smith on lead guitar. You see Earl China Smith on anything, it's worth picking up. He is just master on the guitar on reggae albums. And so, yeah, stoked to have that for the reggae collection. This record had been in the shop forever, and I finally went ahead and got it since I had credit. Escalator Over the Hill, Chrono Transduction by Carla Bley and Paul Haynes. This is the 3 LP box on JCOA Records, and there's gonna be a lot of glare with this, so I apologize. But on the outside, on the shrink, Dylan wrote free jazz, so it offends most customers in there when you do that, and so we'll sit in the shop for a long time. Yeah, so, but for freaks like me, I see free jazz written on a record, I'm all over it. But I collect this label. This was one that was missing. This is an enormous ensemble on this, and this is a 3 LP box, if I didn't already mention it. Just folks anywhere from John McLaughlin on this to Don Cherry. I mean, it just stretches the gamut, and just phenomenal stuff. Carla Bley. I didn't have any Carla Bley, so this is a cool addition. He's got another copy up there too, the non-box version. So if anybody needs that, if you can go see Dylan, he's got another copy. And then I also picked up a couple reissues, mainly because originals are impossible. The first, and I can't believe he had this. This is one of the top records I'd love to find, and at some point I will find an original, hopefully. That's Manduka on the IRT label from Chile, I believe. Oh yeah, this is from 1972 originally. This is the 2021 reissue on Vampy Soul. Very stoked he had this. Fantastic psych folk from Chile from the early 70s. I remember Diana digging in the crate, showing this years ago. Her and her husband went in on it to get it for their anniversary, an original, and it just sounds fantastic. So that was a really cool reissue to find. And then I also picked up Witch, Lazy Bones 2, originally from '75, some great Zamrock. I didn't have any Witch records. I see them all the time in the bins, and I'm always hesitant because it's now again, but I went ahead and picked this one up since I had credit. Love the guitars from Witch. A lot of people have been talking about this band because they've reissued pretty much the whole catalog. Just killer guitars. Great Zamrock. So that's what I ended up getting in trade, and that's what was in my big old Amoeba Music sack here that I got from Sherv, who's on break right now. Not from the VC, but from working in the house. Next up, I've got a package from Angry Mom Records. They had a ridiculous auction recently. Dom advised me a while back that they had got this collection in on consignment, and so they put it up on eBay. And there was an enormous amount of Sun Ra and a lot of El Saturns. Some of them very rare, some of them with really some of the best covers that Sun Ra ever put out, like Media Dreams and things like that. But the people that are going after these records, they don't care about money at all. It's throw whatever bid you can out at him. I tried to get one of them. I think I bid on two of them. There was a ton of them. What wasn't gonna happen? But there was a lot of great stuff on offer, and I did pick a few up. The first being Marion Brown, Why Not, on ESP disc, and this is a 1968 stereo pressing. And the thing that's interesting about this is the cover. Sometimes, this being the front cover on this particular version, and a lot of versions this is the front cover, so it just depended. ESP disc is kind of a, I love the label, but they did some weird shit back in the day. But this lineup is phenomenal. Marion Brown on alto, Norris Jones on bass, Stanley Cowell on the piano, and Rashid Ali on drums, another one of my top drummers. And yeah, not a long album, only like 20 minutes, 21 minutes on side A, and about 16 and change on side B, but some beautiful stuff. And it's definitely free jazz, but I love Marion Brown's tone. I love his playing. I think it was the album Porto Novo, if I got that right, that I heard Marion really for the first time, and just really dig his playing, and finally able to get a hold of this record. Really cool custom labels there. Let's see what we got here. I gotta clean this one. But yeah, great free jazz. Would love to find honestly the entire catalog of ESP disc at some point, and this auction definitely supplied some of them. As here is another one of Marion Brown Quartet, the self-titled. This was originally, I think, put out in 67 or 68. This is a 69 stereo pressing. So not a first pressing, but right up there. Maybe this was, it looks like originally 66 maybe. But yeah, a rare appearance from Alan Shorter on trumpet on this one. Wayne Shorter's brother. Benny Maupin on sax, Ronnie Boykins bass, Reddy Johnson also on bass, and Rashid Ali on percussion. Another big one. Very stoked on that. Another ESP disc title, the Frank Wright Trio. This is an original stereo press from 1966. Some more great free jazz. And this one I got a really, really good deal on. This was extremely cheap compared to what it goes for. But yeah, Henry Grimes is on this on the bass, who passed away early on in the pandemic. Great bassist. Was really happy to have this, but just two songs on the A and one track on the B that spans the whole side. The Moon. Yeah. Frank Wright, underrated tenor player. Some more fiery free jazz there. And then this one, another one I almost picked up a reissue from this from a record store down in South Carolina, in Greenville. They had it on their website, but I for some reason held off, and happy I did, because I did find a 1975 pressing of this Peter Brotzman Van Hove and Han Benink record, and what that word stands for is by. I think that must be the German word for by, but another big one. This is a live recording from, I think, 1975. Yeah, so this is basically I think was issued the same year, but the second labels. Pretty good deal on this one too. I was very surprised to win this one. But yeah, it's more fiery free jazz. Love Han Benink on the drums, Peter Brotzman, pure fire. As always, that's on the FMP label. I love finding stuff on that label. Last in the auction, this is definitely one of the rarest records I now own, and was the one I really wanted to pick up, and that's this 7-inch from Albert Ayler, New Generation. This was released by Stateside Records in France, I think in '79, if I'm not mistaken on the year, but there's your Stateside label. But yeah, interesting that this got put out in France on Stateside, because it's an impulse recording recorded by ABC Records of New Generation on the A, and Heart Love on the B, with this crazy ass cover. Super rare 7-inch. I just mind boggled that they had this on auction. I couldn't believe it. So that was a big one. And last but not least, I thought about doing this video kind of like one of Dylan's recent videos, like an unboxing and the whole deal, the whole, you know, the Grail thing and whatnot. But yeah, this came from Mr. Minko. Effects P is the channel, and every now and again he will sell off some rares, and yeah, I saw it and I told him my heart skipped a beat, and was able to get it. Milford Graves, Don Pullen Namo original pressing on SRP Records from 1967. There's your labels. So this is in concert at Yale University. Been looking for this record for a long time. It is now off the list. Phenomenal drummer, percussionist Milford Graves, Don Pullen, unbelievable pianist. The duo of the highest order here, and outside of me finding the Yale University record with the art cover, this is as big as it gets for a free jazz collector, at least this free jazz collector. Yeah, so got a lot of records here to spin this weekend that I'm excited about. Hope you enjoyed your break, Sherv. Hope everybody's well out there. Peace.